Yo, still bills, what's the deal, man? It's Friday Eve. We got another, big weekend of fights ahead of us. This month been lit, man. It's been a hell of a month this year, man. At least a hell of a couple of weeks. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks, man. Listen, man, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. In particular with the Usyk and Dubois rematch. I like the energy from Usyk. I like the confidence from Dubois. I haven't really, I'm honest. I'm gonna be real. I'm really not too amped to watch Manny versus Mario Barrios. I just don't think that's a worthy fight, man. Like, this shit just don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, bro. There's no reason for you to be bringing a Manny Pacquiao out of retirement to fight him. I think that shit is ridiculous, considering you do got some reputable names in the division. You got Gaiasov there. You still got Speedy Rashidi Ellis there. Go pull up one of them dudes, man. Shit, man. You got Rolly Romero, who is officially a champion, and he's just waiting on you to shit, man. I ain't saying you got to fight him now because he just fought 2 months ago, but you can gear towards a fight with that dude, and I'm just not excited about this fight. I am excited about Kafu versus Bam, and I do want to see how Diego Pacheco looks in front of Trevor McCumbee. But I think the biggest fight of the weekend is going to be undisputed at heavyweight with Dubois and Usyk, man, on the zone, and that's a $60 price point. I'm not really digging that. I'm really not, because I'm like, yo, what the undercard, dude? Lawrence Okoli versus Kevin Lorena? Nah, man, nah, bro. No, that ain't it. And because of that, I want to have this conversation. So, peep gang, man. Shout out to Turkey Al-Sheikh for bringing the zone back to what its original mission statement and purpose was, which was, we done with pay-per-views. I don't even think pay-per-views should be completely eradicated. I just think that only fights that should be put on pay-per-view are worthy fights of that. You dig? Fighters, fights that they have a insulated fan base that can generate a return on whatever it is, or not, who can generate that type of attention to where motherfuckers is coming out of pocket to see them fight. That's what I'm cool with. Yo, all right, cool. Yeah, we can have a pay-per-view because that makes sense. But it's just been a consistency, consistently just putting these overpriced, non-worthy pay-per-views on pay-per-view. And oh shit, I forgot. Got a baby shower this weekend. But just doing this shit, man, it's really gotten to a point where it's like, all right, bro, this shit it's become exhausting, man. It's become exhausting. We have not produced a pay-per-view attraction here in America in particular in I don't know how long. The only one that is Canelo, and he's not even American, North American. So what does that say about us? And y'all got the nerve to think that y'all deserve to be put behind a paywall. You dig? Like, I'm not a fan of that shit. Even Javante runs, the scams that he runs, or like, man, can Javante sell out Vegas? Can he sell out Vegas? Can he sell out Madison Square? Man, I'm not so sure about that. But he would be the closest thing to it after Canelo, and he still pales in comparison. So I'm just, just because a fight is a good fight in the now, that does not mean that it's deserving to get put behind a fucking paywall, bro. That shit is getting ridiculous. Y'all are turning boxing into this, into this high society country club that it ain't, that it wasn't intended to be. And that shit is ridiculous. You can't punish the consumer, dog. You can't punish motherfuckers who, nah, man, just we regular 9-to-5 ass niggas. We don't earn 6 figures a year. We don't do that. Why the fuck are you putting all these fights behind paywalls like a motherfucker can afford that shit? $60 here, $80 there. You know what $80 will do for your groceries, bro? You can eat good off $80. Y'all got the nerve to charge us for that, to watch a fight. Watch two niggas rumble. Who's gonna get millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars, in one lump sum, bro? I just think that shit just that isn't a good balance right there. Especially when the fights don't call for that shit. So I like that motto, man, that we going back to no more pay-per-views after November, and I'm cool with that. But now the question comes up, all right, now what's gonna be the subscription fee? What's gonna be the annual fee? Just because cool, we ain't doing pay-per-views no more. What are y'all gonna bump the prices up to now? And nigga like me, I do $20 a month. I ain't tripping on $20 a month. Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, I just do it monthly, bro. Because for me, granted, in the grand scheme of things, you are saving. You are saving. You definitely are. But man, to come out of pocket $200 for a DAZN subscription, like, nah, my Spanish courses cost around about $200, and I get a little bit more fulfillment out of that than I do watching boxing, even though I get fulfillment out of watching boxing. But just me saying, yo, man, just take this $200 at the top of the year, and that's we good. I don't like doing that, so whatever, man. I just hit you with that $20 a month, my dude. I just hit you with that. It balances itself out or whatever the case may be, but nah, man, not at one lump sum, man. Not in one lump sum. So that's my thing, bro. Are y'all gonna spike up the prices on the subscriptions, or are you just gonna let that shit ride out? Because I think it will behoove y'all, even it's always gonna behoove y'all for the time being, because people still ain't caught up to the fact that America just ain't what it used to be as far as the boxing scene is concerned. But it could behoove y'all, man. Just come down on the prices a little bit more, man. I think that should be the incentive for going and getting into this own subscription. For the past 5 years, fam, we've been getting beat up with pay-per-views, and it's just so, y'all was a platform that just so happened to be, that was y'all selling pitch, getting away from pay-per-views, man. Like, let's get we done with pay-per-views. And y'all got right back on board with that. Man. It does get to a point where it's like, all right, bro, this shit is a little greedy right here, man. This is a little greedy. Y'all getting a little ridiculous with this, man. Y'all gotta give us a break. I gotta give us a 2-year break, 1-year break, something like that, man. But something has to give, because this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And that's only speaking on if y'all do decide to hike the prices back up. But I do like that y'all reverting back to what it is y'all original statement was, which was, we not doing pay-per-views. We done with pay-per-views. All fights will be watched with your subscription on this app. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Just think about it, man. In the past, after Floyd, I can't. I won't even say that. And all throughout the 90s, that's when pay-per-view really came into prominence or whatever, man. But you have fighters like Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Wilfredo Benitez, Ali. There was no pay-per-view back in the day. People got the luxury of watching them dudes live on whatever channel came with it. I didn't have cable growing up until like the 8th, 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? So our channels was 3, 6, 10, 11, 45. So to watch some, just to be able to say, they gonna be on ABC, they fighting on NBC. You got that channel, and you don't even have to, have cable to watch that shit. That's why fighters of the past are so revered today and known more today. They were far more accessible. It was easier to watch them, man. I ain't have to. Now you got all these apps and everything. It's just getting real ridiculous, man. It's like, y'all got to you find whatever methods that that was discovered back in the day to make these fighters, stand the test of time. Go back and study their methods, man. Go back and study their methods. Because pay-per-view wasn't it. There was no such thing as that, man. So for y'all to consistently hit us over the head with all these pay-per-views, you coming out of pocket $300, two pay-per-views a month and all that. Like, man, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? So I just feel like the zone, yeah, it is a business at the end of the day, man. But shit, you know, you have to have a consumer base to sustain a business. We need a break, man. We need a grace period of where you said no pay-per-view. All right, cool. We gonna keep these prices the same where they at. No pay-per-views. Cool. I feel like that's the counterbalance right there. That's the perfect counterbalance. But as far as, you know, just like, you know, them taking pay-per-views off of the zone is a good thing. That's a great thing. Because that is what y'all was supposed to do in the first place. It was understandable with Canelo, because that's the only dude in this country who can really generate that type of, you know, buzz around when he's fighting. But even then, it's like, all right, bro, just certain, even fights with him, it should have been like, all right, my nigga, like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing here? So yeah, man, that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Let's get back to the, let's get back to the, you know, boxing is a blue collar sport, Brody. You dig? Let's get back to the, you know, what favors the blue collar people. Which is being consumer friendly, you dig? Motherfuckers got buyer's remorse after they cop the zone. It's like, yo, man, you also got to think, man, in the American, y'all don't have a lot of American, y'all, you know, y'all are still, you know, the Queensberry and Matchroom. Yeah, they have American fighters, in particular Matchroom. Golden Boy is on there, but that shit is still catered to a UK audience. It's still catered to them, man. So, you know, just, what's the best way you could get the American audience more familiar with more of the UK fighters? Stop putting shit on pay-per-view. Daniel Dubois and Usyk do not belong on pay-per-view. That's just me being real. Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk does not belong on pay-per-view. That should be a gimme fight. That should be a gimme fight. And the only way to justify putting it on pay-per-view is not putting fucking Kevin Lorena versus goddamn Lawrence Okolie on there, man. That's the co-main event. I'm thinking, you know, Moses Itama and Dillian White was on the undercard, but I think they fight next month. $60 for that is, you know, insanity if you ask me. Because neither one of these dudes are household names like that in America in particular. To the point where you could just, I don't want to, because boxing isn't just relegated to America, but just even, I don't think they household name. Well, I mean, nah, they doing numbers in the UK. They doing numbers in the UK. They are. They, you know, they got, you know, they tickets sold like hotcakes. So I can't speak to that. But I am going to say it's still some bullshit, because these dudes, it's a big fight. It's an important fight. It's a legacy fight. Yeah, it's all of that, man. But it just doesn't belong behind a paywall, dog. That pay-per-view does not deserve to be on paper. That fight does not deserve to be on pay-per-view. It just does not. It does not deserve to be on pay-per-view. And for y'all, if y'all can give us the better Bivol undercard fight with that stacked undercard for $25, why couldn't y'all give us this for that same price? That's $25 is doable. That's a lot more doable. It's a lot more doable. It's a lot more justified. $60 for Dubois and Usyk is not even a tad bit ridiculous, bro. That's insanity. Just because fighters fight on Tyson Fury and Usyk, that made for pay-per-view. Why? Because of who, you know, people are, you know, America is more, not even just America. I keep saying America. I got to stop doing that shit. Tyson Fury is more known to a broader audience. He's more known. So it made a little bit more sense. Dubois isn't. And it's as simple as that, bro. Stop putting, you know, just, I don't even think y'all should wait till November, if we being real. I don't think y'all should wait until November. And I feel like even that is going, that's going to be a doozy in itself, because y'all going to try to find ways to, fucking, man, y'all gonna try and find ways to sneak attack us with some pay-per-view. Y'all, all right, cool, let's sneak that in there. We said till November. Let's try and sneak this Riyadh season card in there, put that behind the paywall. I don't, man. It's game. I don't like that shit. So let's get back to the mission statement at hand. Do us a solid as those who are buying the fight, or not buying the fight, but buying the, purchasing the app. It's time to dead these pay-per-views, Brody, and it shouldn't have to wait till November, because it is happening in November. That's the cutoff. That's the deadline. All right, cool. I can respect that, but don't try and hit us with some bullshit over the top before we get there, because I feel like, motherfuckers are slick enough to do some shit like that, man. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. It's Friday Eve. For me, it's my Friday, so I'll get with y'all later, yo. Deuces.